Kaja Israel, Kaba Egypt, Kaja Ethiopia, Kaja Sudan, Waja Shong. Kaja Kushima, you know, Wanime Kona, me Waja Shong. So Timbuktu, Ghana, Mali, Sumanguru, you know, Waja Shong. Waja Gay, Waja Shong.
This program is brought to you by World Remit, a fast, reliable and better way to send money.
World Remit helped me give you the best start in life, even if I couldn't be there to see it. I know it wasn't easy comparing yourself to your friends, but the money I sent home meant that you could be right there alongside them today. I'm so proud to be your mother, almost as proud as you must be now that you're starting an incredible new chapter.
Located at the center of the world, Ghana is the best investment destination in West Africa and ranks as West Africa's first in the Ease of Doing Business Report 2019. It was projected as one of the fastest growing economies in the world, with a growth rate of 6.8% in 2019, and has been declared as Africa's new bright spot after being ranked 4th in the world and 1st in Africa in the 2019 Global Retail Development Index. As the host of the African Continental Free Trade Area, Ghana is creating the linkages that will make it the gateway to Africa, aided by dynamic policies, a stable political environment, and strong economic fundamentals. It is a land of opportunities, offering businesses across many sectors the potential to flourish. The country is open and accessible to investors and the private sector, providing a peaceful environment and upholding the rule of law. The government of Ghana is confident and optimistic about the positive results in its investment drive through the GIPC. Ghana has 8 million hectares of arable land, well irrigated by a wide network of water bodies, making it a region ready for large-scale mechanized agriculture. The government and major policy planners recognize that expanding the agro-industrial base is the best path to develop. Ghana has put in place the right legal and regulatory framework to increase foreign direct investment. The Industrial Zones Program allows manufacturers and agro-processors to take advantage of favorable tax and duty incentives to produce for exports from Ghana into the EU and US markets. A rich cultural history and wonderful natural beauty makes Ghana a great tourist destination. The Year of Return Tourism and Marketing campaign in 2019 positioned Ghana as a key travel and investment destination for African Americans and people of the global diaspora. The year recorded significant increases in the number of visitors to Ghana. Ghana's growing consumer market is providing compelling reasons for investing in the services sector. The retail sector has been valued at $24.4 billion. A growing middle class with increasing purchasing power is creating demand for a wider variety of sophisticated services in healthcare, finance, and education. In the region, Ghana has one of the highest mobile penetration rates at 140%, with data penetration at 89%. The country has a thriving startup scene, helped by access to broadband internet that runs on fiber optic and 4G networks. The fintech industry is worth over $50 billion. Ghana is an English-speaking nation located in the center of the geographical world, with flight times from Europe or America averaging about 8 hours. Transportation networks in and out of the country have received enhancements in order to aid the ease of doing business. It has a new international airport terminal and an expanded port infrastructure. Tema Port is one of the largest in Africa, with a capacity to handle 3.5 million TEUs. The expansion in the economy is largely due to oil and gas development. Other sustainable sources of power, like solar, wind and thermal, will significantly increase the country's energy resources. We invite you to share in Ghana's optimism, be part of the incredible opportunities we offer, and be open to the idea to grow in Ghana and grow with Ghana.
Thank you very much and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 11th edition of the Ghanaian Community Awareness Forum. This evening, my name remains Emmanuel Kwesi, the chairman of Ghana Union, UK and Ireland. And today we have a very interesting program, something that we've all desired to want to know more about for our own sake and obviously for Mother Ghana, prosperity and future. It's important that we all share in that prosperity, invest in it, know about it, how to go about it. And today we are privileged to have with us the very people who will show us all the ropes, because they've been there, done it, and equally to say they've won the t-shirts. So they will be happy to share with us their knowledge from official perspective and personal interest as well that they have desired in the past. This evening, as I said earlier, this program is brought to you with the help of our sponsors. World Remit Money Transfer is one of the companies and one of the best companies that we will recommend to you to use when sending money, especially this time of the year when people are going to school and you're supporting your family and friends in Ghana. We recommend that you use World Remit, and we will tell you all about it in the coming minutes. The program is also put together in partnership with the Ghana Union, UK and Ireland, the Ghana Nurses Association, UK and Ireland, the Western Regional Association of Nurses, UK, and the Nightingale Nurses Association, UK. We thank them for their partnership and cooperation in bringing this program to the community, and therefore we hope that they will continue to do so for the good of our community. We thank World Remit for their sponsorship and Omega Live for carrying this as well on their studio and on their platform. Ghana High Commission, we are thankful for your endorsement of this community-wide initiative and helping us to send all vital information to our people here in UK diaspora. This program, as you all know, is not political. No political interest is expressed here. And therefore, we hope that our audience will adhere to the basic rules we have always outlined in the past almost a year since we started. Thank you all for your cooperation and understanding in that respect. A few rules, as I've always said, audience will have to unmute themselves when they are told to do so, and that will be during the Q&A sections. There will be no audience access to share your screen. And so if we have to share any screen, it will be the panelists who will do so. And when you're speaking, we do ask kindly, where possible, if you can show your name and your face so we know who we are talking to. And finally, if you can raise your hand using the Zoom icon so we can call you when it's time for you to ask your questions. And please do go straight on point, your question, no dithering, no going about giving explanations. We just want to know the question so that the panelists will have the time to address it. May I just say that our panelists today are very keen to help with answering all the questions, but also it is worth noting that they've been on a long travel around for the name of Ghana, and therefore their time is very strict. So we have to try and get as much through before the end of the program. This evening, I have with me the special guests that we have as panelists tonight. In the name of Mr. Yofi Grant. Mr. Yofi Grant is the Chief Executive Officer, the CEO of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. We also have with us Mr. Alex Dade, who is also Executive Chairman of the KGL Group. And Mr. Chairman is one of the people that we know very well here in UK, a first chairman of the Diaspora Homecoming Summit, and has held a number of other community-wide initiative programs and led it very successfully. He's a businessman, and we trust his judgment when it comes to leading us to going to Ghana to invest. So welcome my panelists tonight, and I will give them opportunity to give their opening remarks and go straight to what it is that we need to know. The topic areas for tonight, my audience, will be about accessing Ghana's investment landscape. How do we get in? Where are the areas we can go in? What are the areas that you think are more attractive for people like ourselves with a bit of 1p, 2p left to put into our investment in Ghana? And also we'll look at the opportunities, the challenges. No doubt, there is always a challenge around something. How do we navigate through that challenges, the navigation aspect of it? How did they do it? How did they tell others to do it? How has others listened to them and become successful out of it? We also look at diaspora investment. Those of us living here, do we necessarily need to go and live in Ghana to be able to invest? Or is there any way that we can also invest while we are here? Or is there any investment that our nation, our motherland has brought to our shores here in the diaspora that we can tap into? And what are the support mechanisms there, the allied services that we can rely on? If we get there and we fall into any situation, who and where and how can we access those services? So these are the three key areas we'll be looking into. And that will take us to the question and answer session, where all of you will have the chance to ask your question, and where you have experienced something very tangibly good, please share with us so that we can at least encourage others that our nation is ready to welcome your investment. So without much ado, and in no particular order, I will let the panelists from the CEO, Mr. Yofi Grant, the Honorable Yofi Grant, to give us an opening statement, and that will be followed by our chairman, Mr. Alex Dade, to do the same, and then we will go straight to their presentations. Thank you very much and welcome. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel, and it's my pleasure to be on this. Yes, indeed, I just not a few hours ago just landed from Dubai after an 8-hour flight, and I barely slept the night before because I had an intensity of meetings. And right after I got off the plane, I had to meet with the Honorable James Duddridge, who is the UK Secretary for Africa, and we've had a very engaging afternoon, very exciting. The prospects for partnership are very good. But the Ghana story, undoubtedly, is probably one of the best stories to have arisen, even pre-COVID to post-COVID. And pre-COVID, from 2017 to 2019, it grew at an average of 7% and one of the fastest growing economies in the world. And post-COVID, it's one of the very few countries which didn't go into recession. Our projections of a 6.8% growth in 2020 was whittled down to 0.9% or there'll been a hike, or 0.4%. And since then, we've had a remarkable recovery. We are projecting a growth of 5%, 5.5% in 2020. And as of the second quarter, the economy grew by 8.9%, which tells us that we are positively achieving our objectives. But why Ghana? First of all, I mean, I'm sure many of you do not realize this or know this, but Ghana is in the center of the world. Ghana is the only country on latitude 0 and longitude 0. But it's also a country with amazing, amazing character. 365 days of sunshine, political stability, great entrepreneurship culture, and what will make it attractive to any business person. But I would summarize it and describe the Ghana story as a story of the 3 O's. And I'll explain. The first O is opportunity. I mean, this is a country that is minerals rich, resource rich. We are rich in gold, we are rich in timber, we are rich in bauxite, we are rich in iron ore, we are rich in manganese, we are rich in lithium, we are rich in oil and gas, and many other mineral resources. and even lithium, which is a very much sought for resource for the world going to Industry 4.0 to Industry 5.0, which is the technology age of information. And so we do have all these, but that's not all of it. We also do have, we have a significant amount of land resources, over 8 million hectares of land, of which less than 2020 is cultivated. And so, you know, even on that score, we do have a significant amount of resource. Can you just give me a second? I think my network is playing up. Sorry, I had to change networks. We have all these opportunities that are available. But these are opportunities that have always existed, and maybe we haven't monetized them as much. So in the wisdom of the president, he's decided that maybe we should start exporting our raw materials and resources and add value to them, which makes a lot of sense in the direction the economy is going. Because we have a continent that is similarly rich in resources, but the people are poor because we export all our raw materials and import the finished goods out of those raw materials. The second O is openness. Ghana currently is probably still one of the most attractive places to do business and to invest, and has been rated #1 in West Africa in terms of investment attractiveness. But why is that so? First of all, this is a country that is known to be politically stable, which is what every investor really wants to know. But beyond that, we have an engagement which ensures that we have a strong respect for the rule of law. And then people always say that Ghana, if you want policies to drive your economy, come to Ghana, you'll find them. But we have done quite a number of things beyond that. And I'm sure those of you out there would recognize the branding of the Year of Return, which brought over 750,000 visitors to Ghana and reestablished Ghana as a sort of mecca for the African American or people of African orient that came up from the continent. And that we've extrapolated into a program called Beyond the Return, which has 7 components, of which investment is one. But we recognize that the diaspora particularly is a very important resource. And every year they remit inwardly some $3 billion, which is much more than averagely we've been doing in FDI, and probably much more than even the government has been borrowing from the international market. So that's a very exciting and important resource. But we are also in a very significant mode of reforming our business sector, reforming our investment sector to make it more friendly, not just for foreign investors, but for business. And the objective is that in the medium to long term, to make Ghana the most attractive place to do business on the continent. And so here we are, a small country that once was a spearhead of African political emancipation and democracy, still holding the flag high and leading the charge of African financial and economic emancipation. And we do it with great pride. And it's for no other reason that the headquarters of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area was positioned in Ghana. And since then, we've seen some significant developments in the market, recognizing what Ghana is trying to do and where Ghana is trying to go. We've had Google locate its artificial intelligence laboratories and center in Accra. Recently, Twitter also announced that they will put their regional headquarters in Accra. United Airlines have also indicated they are putting their regional headquarters in Accra. And we are speaking with Amazon, trying to attract them to come to Accra, and other major players like World Help, who are leaders in the BPO space. And so we are repositioning Ghana as a hub for West Africa, but not just in the services, but also manufacturing. So many of our policies, our industrial policies, has attracted major players into the market. We have Siemens trying to do stuff here. We have Bosch already doing stuff here. We have VW now assembling cars in Ghana, Sinotruk. We have Nissan, Toyota, and many other car players looking at establishing and using Ghana as a stepping stone into the African market. And that is the sort of openness we have. We embrace the business. We have taken a new direction of adding value to what we have in partnerships. And so being a strong believer in the sustainable development goals, and by the way, our president is a co-chair of the group of eminent people for the achievement of the SDGs. For us at GIPC, SDG 1 and SDG 17 are paramount in the work we do. And SDG 1 is poverty alleviation. And SDG 17 is partnerships and linkages. And as we all recover from COVID, and the world is trying to retool and reset for a new generation, in Ghana, we are planning, we actually do have a plan called the Ghana Cares Obatampa Project. The Ghana Cares is COVID alleviation and revitalization of enterprises support program of building back better, rebooting and building back better. And it's predicated on certain economies which will create jobs, create opportunity for investors, both local and foreign, and help us build a more resilient economy. And so that is the plan going forward. And it's in sectors such as agriculture, industrialization, infrastructure, technology, agro-processing, housing, and actually setting up Ghana as a hub for many other sectors. So that is where we are. Now, the last O, and if we were all here, I would have said whoever can guess the last O gets a number of boxes of chocolate. But since you're far away, even if you guess right, I can't send you the chocolate. The last O is we are optimistic. And I say we are optimistic because from 2016 and transforming 2017, we're able to convert the economy into one that had its GDP growth falling to the lowest in about some 20 years of 3.6%. And through fiscal consolidation, better management of our public debt and restructuring of our public debt, and better managing of our resources and reforms, by 2017, GDP grew by 8.1%. The following year, it grew by 6.3%. Then 6.5% in 2018. 2019. And then in 2020, it dropped to the 0.4 that I stated. But we are clearly optimistic, and we are achieving some of the things that we set out to do. We are changing the structure of the economy and making it much more progressive, making it more industrial based, so we operate at the higher end of the value chain. For example, we will not export our raw materials as we were doing before. And so we're not going to add value. And as I'm sure you know, that suddenly there's a whole new area of chocolate. And we have artisanal chocolatiers coming out with brilliant products and get into the market. And so there are many things that are happening that we are very happy about. And we are very optimistic that you can participate in that. So I'll stop right here and then we can go on.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Grant, Geoffrey Grant. Thank you for your presentation. At this point, I'm going to give Mr. Alex Dade, our chairman and a businessman, an entrepreneur, somebody who knows what it means to bring up a business from scratch to whatever success it will take you to. Mr. Dade, please join us and this evening give us some tips about your investment in other parts of the world, including Ghana, and how you can encourage us to do the same.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you for having me on. Like you said, we've been crisscrossing the world. I just got to London myself this morning on my way to Dubai. He's just come from there. From the last week, we've been, he's been going out on Ghana government duty. I've been going out on personal business. But I think Yofi said it all. We make a very good team because Yofi normally does very well with policy and that. So he's explained government policy, the opportunities that we have in Ghana. My role basically is to share my experiences with you in terms of what we've been able to do in the space. I left here, as you know, I have been in the UK for a while, in the corporate world in the UK, doing business around the world as well. So in the last few years, I've relocated to Ghana. And I have been a strong advocate of diaspora and inclusion in in the political, socio-economic arena to transform the country. So this is something that's very, very close to my heart, and I am glad that you've given me the opportunity to share my experiences with you. Talking about Ghana in specific, because obviously we've got businesses around the world, and the platform on which we build these businesses is from the diaspora side, because all my experiences, I would say that before I relocated to Ghana, yes, I did a lot of business in Ghana, but unlike my colleagues, when I left Legon, I never worked in Ghana. So this is the first time that I've been really stationed there. But we've been engaged there. It's the opportunities are immense. It's huge. I would say that it's one of the African countries that's got a very, very bright future. There are still challenges anyway. We went in with a clear mandate, like Yofi said. One of the areas that government is looking at and GIPC is looking at is SDG 1, right, which is poverty eradication. And I was very clear in my mind what I wanted to do is to create wealth, because I believe that wealth creation and poverty eradication and job creation are two sides of the same coin. Without creating wealth, you cannot solve you cannot create jobs, and you cannot try and eradicate poverty. So we set ourselves to do that, to create wealth and let government do the distribution. So that's where we've come from. In terms of the terrain, is like I said, there are a lot of opportunities, there are challenges as well. One thing I must say is that most of us who have lived here are closer in our thinking to our host country than we are to our motherland. And if we weren't, right, then we probably need our heads examined, because myself, and I'm sure most of you, have spent a lot of your adult lives here. So when you go back, what you have to know is that your thinking is very, very different from a Ghanaian's thinking, and a normal Ghanaian's thinking. You are closer to your host country, and they tend to, like the foreigners tend to do better, because when they enter the terrain, they know that this is a very, very different terrain. We go in and think we think like the locals, so we expect a lot more. Yes, we have to do things to complement what they are doing. They are doing well. They held the fort whilst we were away. So we have to go in with humility, and so that we can get the best out of them. And I think that's what we set out to do. In the last 4 years, myself and my partners, we've created about 100 jobs. We continue to create jobs. And the success of what we've done is basically, I would credit it to my experiences and in the diaspora, because most of my partners are from this part of the world. And I believe that is one thing that if you want to go and do business in Ghana, you have to look at the partnerships that and also the friendships that you form here. That would be the basis of you migrating back to Ghana to do business. Obviously, you need capital. You have the training and that. So I would advise that you look into sort of like partnerships, acquisitions and that. So those are areas that you probably have to look at before you go. But I'll leave it like that and maybe take questions later.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Dadi, for your presentation. If I may come back to Mr. Yofi Grant, we did speak a lot about government initiative, which is very laudable. What I will hopefully ask you, if you can, is to highlight private entrepreneurship. For an ordinary Ghanaian wanting to go with no millions in their hands, as the topic said, accessing. How do we access the investment market? what are some of the key challenges we should expect? And what are the networks that we can fall on when we find ourselves wanting? That area, if you can highlight a little bit from GIPC perspective, because it's not all of us that will come in with the multinational financial footing. So if you can go a bit on that, that will be helpful for us.
Well, okay. I mean, that's a very important question we need to, that needs to be interrogated well, because I have been accused very often that, we are selling Ghana to foreigners and we don't mind the local people. But GIPC is in Ghana. It is registered in Ghana. I see no reason why, if you're in Ghana, you can't just walk to GIPC, register your business and solicit all the assistance you need from us. But very often we don't do that. But now we are seeing a lot of Ghanaian interest in registering with GIPC and working with us to build a bigger and a better economy. I think the first challenge you'd have is very often people don't know where to go. And I say this with a heavy heart, because I come from an investment banking background, and I always tell people that it's not everybody who can be a businessman. People can be great entrepreneurs, have great ideas, but to convert those ideas into a business requires a certain discipline, a certain aggression, and a certain mindset. And very often you don't find it easily. But the opportunities are there. The opportunities are in our country. And why can a foreigner come into Ghana, come and ask all the questions, come and ask the processes and invest? And our own people can't do that. It just sometimes, baffles me. But I'll tell you something very interesting, and I'll tell you a very interesting story. Earlier in my time in GIPC, we did a trip to Mauritius, and we did presentations and all that. And out of one of the presentations we did, after the function, a guy came to me and says, you're saying very interesting things about Ghana. So can I come to Ghana? And I said, yeah. So what do you need? You just need to get your visa. And if your country has an agreement with us that you don't need a visa, just get on the plane and come. He took the phone, made a few calls, and immediately called me back and says, I'm coming to your country. It was a Saturday. He says, he's asked me, when are you back there? I said, I'm leaving tomorrow. I'll be back in Accra Sunday evening. He said, okay, I'll be in Accra on Tuesday. And I said, okay, yeah, if you're coming on Tuesday, I'll be Accra, we'll meet. I'm ready for you to meet. And it was very interesting because before, Tuesday early in the morning, I got a call from this chap, and he says, so where can we meet? When can we meet? I said, I'm okay. Where do you want to meet? He said, can we have breakfast at 9 o'clock? I said, oh yes, can I have breakfast? I quickly dressed up and went all the way to the hotel where he was. Now, this is not a millionaire or a billionaire or anything, but you know what he did? When we got to the breakfast, we exchanged civilities. Then he brought out this file from his bag. The first thing he picked out was the budget. He had gone to the budget, outlined areas where he saw opportunities. He said, the minister said, we'll do this year, you do that, next year, you do that. What is here? This one is power. Can I enter? How do I enter? The next one is agriculture. What are the crops here? I was amazed. He had done his homework. He came inquiring to how he could do it, not that whether you do it or not. And that's the sort of aggression that normally we don't find here. But I was impressed. Needless to say, 3 years later, he's in agriculture, he's in IT, and he's in services as well. And always, the sad bit of it is when I do forums and things and I have my colleague Ghanaians there, and I said, look, the opportunities are here. It's not like we are bringing the opportunities from somewhere to bring it. They are here already. You have to take advantage of it. We have a vibrant private sector that has ideas. We have to convert those ideas into business. And Alex, he came here. I'm not sure he got any help from anybody. He decided what he wanted to do and just went straight ahead. And I dare say he's doing well. There are many people who are here too, some with education, some with no education, who have taken advantage of opportunities. So very often when people ask me, so what you're not giving us information. And I agree, information is important because if you don't know something, you can't deal with it. But if you don't have the spirit of going to find out to do it yourself. I don't see how it works to you. You know, and I have told many of my friends, I was in investment banking, and I tell them that, look, the opportunities that you say we are giving to the white people, they've been here right under your feet since you were born. You didn't take advantage of it either because you didn't have capital or it was not your interest. But I dare say that now we are seeing a lot more Ghanaian private sector people get into the business vein. They come asking questions. And at GIPC, we are more outward, giving out information, creating platforms where people understand what we do. Because I admit that sometimes when you don't know where to go, how to start, it's difficult just get into it. And it needs your own initiative. But I also must say that it's no different in any other country. Private sector businesses in most countries is a labor of love, a true labor of love. You must love what you do and want to do it. And so you go and find out all that you want to do and do it. And today we are seeing a lot more people very confident on what to do and doing it. So yes, your first port of call will be GIPC. If you need any information, you need any inquiries, call us, we'll help you. We are on social media constantly. We even have a program called Ask GIPC on Fridays. You can post anything. We'll give you the information you want. We are on LinkedIn. We are on Instagram and almost all the social media platforms. So we do have the opportunities there. Now, on the engagement, what is government doing? So the government has clearly indicated that this time around, government is only going to deal with the supporting environment. It's a partnership with the private sector. And so a lot of the development that we expect to see should or would be driven by private sector. Now, the Ghana Cares program is a 100 billion cedi budgeted program. But guess what? Government is only going to provide 30 billion cedis out of it. The remaining 70 billion must come from private sector and the efforts of GIPC. So you will be my best friends. I'll keep knocking at your doors because I have a target of 70 billion to provide to the economy in the next 3 years. And that's what's keeping me active running around all over the place. But I'll also tell you, people always say, oh, you are chasing the big business. No, we're not chasing the big businesses. We are selling the Ghana story and opportunity. It may be small businesses that will come, it will be big businesses that will come, because 85% of our businesses in Ghana are SMEs and SMIs anyway. If we want the partnerships that we want, we need to sell the story to those who are willing to take the step with their capital from outside, partner with Ghanaians, and then be able to get the businesses that we want. And I dare say that the diaspora is very important in this, because if every year you can remit a minimum of $3 billion equivalent, then it means you do have the capital to make a proper investment. So what we've done at GIPC is actually to set up an investment desk for the diaspora. And I know that in October, there's going to be a diaspora investment conference in London, where we actually an in-person one, but also split with a virtual part of it, where we would engage and create the linkages that will be meaningful to anybody who wants to invest in Ghana. But the country is ready. I must say Ghana is ready. Ghana is an opportunity you can't let go. And it's one of the best places to be in the world. It's a happy country of happy people, sunshine almost all throughout the year. And I say we're in the center of the world. Take advantage of it, and we'll be there to guide you and help you.
Thank you, Mr. Grant. Thank you. Before I'm going to encourage people that it is possible and doable, as Yofi has said. We will show some video of people who have gone there, succeeded, and given some testimonies. But before I do, can I ask Mr. Dade, as somebody who you said in your presentation that you have a company or group, you belong to a group of companies that has managed to employ 100 people and plus. What has been your key challenges when you set foot in Ghana, albeit knowing someone or not, or being close to anyone? What are the key areas you felt that at one point it was difficult that you wish you didn't start, or if there was anything that came to your mind? Because most often we all pack our bags and say we are going to Ghana for good, we are going to do this, and in a matter of 2-3 years, we are back to where we started, we left. And I think your experience will be useful in that.
Thanks, Emmanuel. I think that First of all, I must say that you was talking about these opportunities and that, and we've been preaching about opportunities. A lot of people come to these forums and that thinking that they have to be guided. Yes, you want to hear about opportunities and that, but you also have to do your homework. Entrepreneurship is instinctive. You probably know which areas you are good at, where you want to go, the direction. People like myself, we've been mentoring a lot of people. We've been doing it for years, even before we moved to Ghana. Moving to Ghana, we were also very clear that it's going to be a tough terrain. We don't see, we see beyond the challenges. Because, like I said, we haven't lived here. We think, or I can talk for myself, I think more like a British guy than a Ghanaian in terms of the way I would approach business and issues to do with corporate governance. We took a model that we've used in the UK and other places. I talked about we focus more on partnerships and acquisitions rather than reinventing wheels. Yes, the mentality is very, very different there, the way they approach things. But we were clear when we started employing people that I went in, the first thing I said was, I want to be like MTN, the way they manage their staff. And there are companies like that. There are a few companies that we were looking up to. So from the day that we have employed the first staff, we were clear to them that, look, the rewards are there if you want to work with us. But also, we wouldn't tolerate that sort of attitude. And like I said, having been an advocate of diaspora and inclusion, we wanted to show the best of the diaspora. This is something that we've gone out with the Ghanaian taxpayers' money educating us in Ghana. We want to come back. What we've acquired out there, we want to share it with you. So that was the first thing. So we look beyond the challenges. And one thing that also helped, which I mentioned, was that we looked at basically bringing things from outside, the capital, the technology. I'm involved in digitalization. One of the things that challenges that you will face in Ghana is, I don't think it's only in Ghana, but obviously that's where we are now, is when you try to make a difference, you want to make a change, like changes in the system. You have the establishment, the old establishment who fight you to help. So those are things that you have to bear in mind, especially when you have huge businesses wanting to make structural changes, which we have set ourselves to do. So we were also aware that we would face those challenges. So we were prepared for them. We had a plan for that. So you have to have a plan to face the challenges that you envisage, because I'm sure before you go to Ghana, you know the challenges you're going to face, the mentality of the people. You cannot do things. This one cannot be done. I wouldn't call it corrupt, but there are lots of there's a lot of, like, there's establishment of I'll say the old order has been so ingrained in the system that it's very, very difficult to do those changes. But because we were aware of those changes, we planned for them. So that's one thing that I would say, that if you do that, you look at the challenges you're going to face and plan for them. Then you don't have to pack your bags and come back. And that's what we've done. So I would advise that anyone wanting to go there, and there are huge, huge, huge opportunities. You look beyond the challenges, plan for them, right? How to tackle them, and you'll be okay. So that would be my basic advice.
No, thank you so much, Chairman. We will show a video of someone who has made it, And they didn't have to go with millions or anything. They started as you and I would have done, and hopefully that will encourage us. And then we'll come to Q&A for a few minutes, if you bear with us for a minute. So the team will show that video. Thank you.
So Selena Beb Designs was established in 2012, and it was born out of my passion and my love for fashion. I used to live in the UK for 11 years. I schooled and worked in the UK, and I moved back to Ghana in 2008. So moving back to Ghana in 2008, I noticed that African fashion was really in vogue, and it was trending, especially the African-inspired accessories, in particular bags. So I love these African print bags and the clothes, and I used to buy them and wear them and use them, and I'll get lots of compliments. So with all these compliments that I was getting with wearing my African fashion, I started thinking maybe that dream I had when I was a teenager, or all these years of going into fashion, can actually be realized. I'm almost 10 years now into this business, and I'm still evolving, I'm still growing, still expanding, and I love where the brand has gotten to. I have 20 workers, both permanent and part-time workers, and that is 20 families that are benefiting from this company. Most of them, their livelihood depends on the brand. A couple of years ago, I remember we were invited to the end of year party for GIPC, where I got to put up a fashion show, and guess who were the models? Staff of GIPC actually modeled my products at that particular function, and that was a nice one. And also we've participated in the Young Entrepreneurs Forum that GIPC organizes annually. We got to exhibit our products at the 2018 Young Entrepreneurs Forum, and that was a good one for us because we got lots of patronage for our products. We got to network, and then some opportunities came from that particular exhibition. I'm looking forward to more collaborations with GIPC, and also I am going to register with GIPC so I can open up the brand to the investor community, both home and abroad. So the brand has exhibited on a couple of international platforms. The first one was in London, Africa Fashion Week London in 2015, where we did the runway show and exhibited as well. That was really good. It gave us amazing exposure. We got bloggers and fashion enthusiasts all over the world writing about the Selena Beb brand, and that really put us up there on the global stage. We've done fashion shows in America as well, particularly in New Orleans. We did New Orleans Fashion Week in 2018, and that was also a very good experience for us, and people were amazed to see that things made in Ghana, in Africa, were being exhibited on the runway. I've had shows in Rome as well. So in 2020, in the wake of the Black Lives Movement, Beyonce wanted to highlight Black-owned businesses and for us to be able to support our own and buy from our own. And in Ghana, she chose fashion brands. There were just about 8 fashion brands initially when she named that Black Parade directory, and guess who was on there? Selena Beb was on there, and that's another very proud moment for me. Our first award was Accessories Brand of the Year in 2015 at the Glitz Style Awards, and then we've won an award at the Feminine Achievement Awards as well, where we were recognized for our exceptional designs and creativity. We've also won 2 awards in Italy at the Global Women Inventors and Innovators Awards ceremony. We've also been recognized by the Ghana Fashion Industry Awards, where I received recognition for my contribution to the fashion industry in Ghana. We have unique designs. We stand for quality, durability, and stylish products. The Made in Ghana factor is a big thing for us, especially for the international market. They'd like to know that this was actually made in Africa. They like to know that this is handmade. So it's not mass production, it's not being produced from China, it's actually authentic. So authentic fabric made right here in Ghana. What has made the Selina Beb brand survive for almost 10 years is passion, hard work, and perseverance. There are lots of challenges doing business in Ghana, but amidst the challenges are opportunities and optimism. To the diasporan community, I'd like to encourage you all to move back to Ghana, to invest in Ghana, and do business in Ghana. If I've been able to move back to Ghana from the UK and make it, I believe anybody at all in the diaspora can come and make it as well. So come back, let's grow in Ghana, and let's grow with Ghana.
Wow. This is excellent. This is excellent. There's 3 things I took out of it throughout the 5-minute clip: passion, hard work, and perseverance. You cannot go to Ghana if you are not passionate about what you're going to do. If you don't want to persevere and you want to take a shortcut and walk away, probably. and you have to, you have to make sure you are hardworking yourself. You can't go and sit there and lazy about and be taking 2 people and be sending them up and down and be a madam in the chair and be sending around people. Things that we are not used to when we are here is what we expect when we get to Ghana. And that is one of the mindset that hopefully we all help to change. It's one of the few mindsets actually. But as we are going back to the Q&A, may I ask that you raise your hand with the Zoom icon and raise your hand and ask your question, and we'll call you when the time is right. In the meantime, Mr. Grant, Mr. Geoffrey Grant, if I may ask you a quick question.
Yes, please.
You did highlight a few things about government and other initiatives. Is there any support network that is established apart from GIPC? Right. Which is the government-approved body. Right. Is there any support network that somebody's trying their best and now finding themselves swimming in the muddle can reach out to? What are the network, allied networks?
They've always existed. But Ghanaians don't like associations where they have to contribute money to. They want the help, but they don't want to pay for it. There's AGI. AGI has existed since I don't know when, and it's very, very useful, I'll tell you. I mean, I know I was the finance chairman of the finance subcommittee of AGI for a couple of years, and it was extremely useful. There's also the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, GNCCI, very, very useful. It's once you're in business and you want to join, they give you all the necessary support. And there's Private Enterprise Foundation. So all these self-regulating associations are already there. They do exist. And they do support. I mean, they are a very strong support base. There are even associations of women business people. I just recently found out that there are about 3, which are very dynamic and they help. And so what I'll probably do is we are remodeling our website. We'll put all these things on the website so that you don't need to go far to find the information you want. What I would also like is for those of you listening, I've shared my email on the chat box. If there's anything you want to see that you don't see, or anything you think we should provide that we're not providing, I think it's good to just draw my attention to it. But additionally, we've recently set up an aftercare unit at GIPC where we preempt problems. We speak to people who have invested money, both foreigners and Ghanaians, find out what the issues are and help them resolve them. And because we report to the presidency, when we don't get traction, it's easy to get to the executive says, this is becoming a problem. It's hanging because the ministry says this, the investor says that, and we want a solution and a great business environment. We want to create the greatest business experience in Africa, in Ghana, and we can do it together. I have absolutely no qualms that we can do it together. So that is where we are right now. We'll give you the necessary support. The information is there. I mean, even when you just go on Google and you go to Google and search things out there, you find a lot of information. I mean, I have foreigners who've never asked a question come on the basis of what they found online, and they start their businesses. So let's pull up our socks and gather courage. This is our country. Nobody can do it better than we can ourselves, and so we need to just take the bull by the horns. Take advantage of what exists and get out there. But I also like to say that the president has what they call the private-public consultative meetings once a quarter, where he meets a broad brush of private sector operators, some big, some small, and has close to a full day with them. They have breakfast and maybe lunch, and they discuss issues. So that's where it is. At the end of the day, and you did say it's not about politics, and truly it's not about politics, it's about developing our nation. But I dare say that what we have today is a much better solution than we've ever had. We have a country that is on the go. Our GDP has moved to one of the fastest in the world. We are getting a lot of plaudits internationally for the work we've done. Even in the COVID times, Ghana and South Korea have been mentioned as the two countries who seem best prepared to confront the pandemic. And as I speak, Ghana's infection rate and mortality rates are probably one of the lowest you'd find, not just on the continent, globally. And it's because of planning being done. And we just pray and touch with that it doesn't take another turn, because we've seen that there's a third wave and the numbers are increasing. But when we plan and we work together, we can execute. And it just shows the Ghanaian character of wanting things done. And that is why we have a very noisy media space, very encouraging, because we engage and discuss everything. And out of those, we get the best to work for our country. So I believe that we have a great opportunity. The partnerships are there. This afternoon, I had a great meeting with the Honorable James Duddridge, who is the UK Secretary for Africa. And he did say to me that last night, they had a very exciting engagement with a number of Ghanaians from the diaspora who in the UK, small businesses who are doing amazing stuff. He was so impressed, he couldn't stop talking about it. And these were all people who lived in the UK and decided to come back home and started small. Some of them have become big, some of them have remained small. But let's go out there. It's our country, and the country is ready to support and help.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to open it for Q&A. We only have 30 minutes. If my panelists will give me the next 30 minutes, we will get through this. Please, I know you are very, very tired, and it's been a long day, but I do appreciate that you've taken the time to be with us, because your people need you to. Mr. Dade, if I can ask, we've heard, I'm part of the Diaspora Homecoming Summit, and in 2019, which was the last time we heard, obviously saved the 2018 or 19, because of the pandemic, we haven't been able to do it again, not because anything else. But there's been talk about this diaspora bond, diaspora days. Can you highlight what your knowledge about it so far, what is going on? Because if somebody's here and they are not ready to actually be physically in Ghana, is there any other business interest that they can still get involved and be helping Mother Ghana? Rather than us putting our money in Lloyds Bank and NatWest, and we are getting 99p a month or a year, probably. Is there anything that we can do from far?
Maybe Alex, let me answer the question on the diaspora bond, because I work very closely with the Ministry of Finance, and it's one of the projects that we are thinking of doing. And diaspora bonds are not new. Nigeria issued one for 300 million. India has done it. Philippines have done it. And I think Ghana, I did mention that our inward remittances formally registered as about 3 billion. Informally, it's suspected that it tops 5 billion a year. Now, this money comes inside through friends, relatives, remittances to family, friends, etc. And very often, the remitters don't get any return. So the intention is to create a vehicle where they just don't remit money and the money goes away. Either it's spent by some profligate recipient, or it's supposed to be used for housing and the house number materializes, or it's used to look after parents, relatives, kids, and all that, which is very useful. But now we want to structure it such that when you invest in an instrument like that, you get a return. So your money just doesn't come one way. You get a return, which should make it more attractive to people in the diaspora. And so we are looking at that, and we are looking at the structure. We need to carefully do it such that, it's important enough and attractive enough for people in the diaspora. In fact, because of Ghana's prominence worldwide today, we are virtually being pushed to even widen the scope of the diaspora to include almost all people of African descent. you know, so we have African Americans who are coming in here. And just last week, we hosted the last 2 surviving African Americans of the Tulsa routes. They're over 100 years old, and they said they wanted to see Ghana before they die. So they undertook the journey, as old as they are, and came to Ghana. And they felt spiritually relieved, like, oh, we've now seen the homeland, you know. And so looking at the Caribbeans, we've had visits to the Caribbeans, and we've had leaders from the Caribbeans come over and want to establish trade links and trade opportunities and all that. So the structure is what we are working on now, and very soon we'll put it out. So sorry, Alex, over back to you.
Okay, I think I was just going to refer the policy side to you and answer directly what Emmanuel was asking. Do you have to be in Ghana to partake in the economic transformation? No, you don't. I categorize diaspora investment into 3 or 4 main areas, which I've mentioned before. I look at diaspora direct investment, which basically is like FDI, foreign direct investment. And I look at diaspora remittances, diaspora philanthropy investment. So when you look at diaspora direct investment, that's the people who send money home to trade in instruments like bonds and that. So you don't have to be in Ghana to do that. Myself, you mentioned about 3 billion going into coming from the diaspora. And it's more like 3 times that, because sometimes we look at FDI, right? We look at diaspora direct investment as part of FDI, foreign direct investment. But when we separate that, because myself, I'm a clear example of diaspora direct investment. I'm not a foreigner, I'm a Ghanaian. So all the money that I take back to Ghana sometimes is classified, or my partners bring in is wrongly classified as foreign direct investment. No, it's diaspora direct investment. Investing in sometimes bonds and that, investing directly in industries, partnerships, like I mentioned earlier, acquisitions and that. So you don't have to be there to do that. Remittances is the same, like UFE said, it tends not to be too productive because we just send it, it lies around. And I think that's what government is trying to do now, is to mobilize all those resources for national development. And then there's the philanthropy investment, which I also partake in that because I've got one of the large foundations there doing things in corporate social responsibility. So you don't necessarily have to be there to take part in the economic transformation.
Thank you both for that elaborate explanation. I've not seen anyone's hands up, which means you've done a good job. You're doing a good job. I've got some questions here which came in advance. Normally when we do this, we ask for questions in advance, and I've got about some questions. So we'll still have some to answer. Before I do that, can I introduce to you Mr. Peter Akwabwa? Peter is the Managing Director of Morgan Stanley in United States. Peter is one person, also has investment in Ghana. And probably if he has something he can share with us, his experience, his knowledge around investment, just to hopefully add to what we've heard. And then I'll go through the few questions I have. I'm hoping by that time we'll get a few chat room questions and we can go through. If we have Peter with us, Peter Kwabwa, please. Just a few remarks on your, in terms of your knowledge of Ghana and how you see Ghana in investment context. I'm not sure if Peter may probably have an issue with his line, or I don't know, but I'm sure we'll get him back in good time. Right. Okay, so we'll go to the questions. I'm sure I'll get Peter back to join us at some point. Mr. Grant and Mr. Daddy, your faces are off. I'm sure you grab some quick water and return to us so we can go through these questions that I have with me. On the chat room, I have somebody saying, I'm sure you would have read some of them. One of them says, excellent presentation, which is very good. You've put your email address there. Some people, and there's somebody saying, some people at government institutions hinder efforts instead of guiding. they asked to be made consultant and paid for their services. How different is GIPC? So, I mean, this is your direct remit.
Yeah,
So,
we don't ask for payment for any of the services we render, except for administrative fees and registrations, etc., etc. We don't charge consulting fees. We don't do that. But in any case, I don't see what's wrong with that, because I have done business in many countries in the world where agencies will charge you a token for either data you collect or whatever it is. Why should it be any different from Ghana? So, you know, it may not be obstructive fees. I'll tell you one of my recent experiences. And today I mentioned it to the minister and he laughed his head off. I made a point to them that the British government had made a great opportunity out of COVID to raising funding. And he asked, what did I mean by that? And I was just telling them that, look, I was in the UK, was it a couple of weeks back? Just on COVID testing alone, by the time I was leaving the UK, £600.
yes.
In Ghana, government decided to charge $50 and $150 for foreigners, and there was uproar. You know, and I was just saying, I've just come from Europe. I had to pay 100 and something euros to get a COVID test, a fit to fly COVID test. I just came from Dubai this afternoon. I had to pay about $80 and so forth. You know, the thing is that there's a cost to business, and whenever you want things free in business, trust me, it doesn't work. I've seen that but I'm not saying you should pay a bribe. For goodness sake, don't pay a bribe, because a bribe may not necessarily give you what you want. But if you pay for a service, you can demand the service you require, and what you've paid for.
Yes.
So we shouldn't be shy of sometimes somebody offering his consultancy service. Of course, I have an issue with if you go to a ministry and they are supposed to give you information for free, and somebody now wants you to pay for that information when there is no stipulated charge or anything on it. That is criminal. But if you have to engage a consultant, I mean, I wanted to do some things in agriculture. And so I went to the Ministry of Agric. I asked questions, they gave me the basic answers. And then I said, I need to go beyond that. So I looked within the people that had engaged, and I found that one had some spectacular expertise in the area I wanted. And I engaged him privately as a consultant. Funnily enough, after I engaged him, an investor who had also met him decided that, look, I need to get this guy as a permanent employee in my project. The guy has left the ministry and is now consulting for somebody.
Yes.
You know, so there are opportunities. My view, and I hope I'm not sounding patronizing, you know, is that let's not always go for free. Go for services that you pay for and will get, and demand those services. You know, that's my view from my background, etc., etc. But of course, there are institutions who are mandated to give you certain things for which you should not pay a dime.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you've highlighted that bit. That's more clear. I mean, it will be interesting for you to know that we have the experience here. We as Ghanaian, I will say this with a bit of hesitance, but I have to. Our people are used to, oh, it's Mr. Quason, oh, it's Mr. Daddy, oh, Mr. Daddy, can you help me? Mr. Great. So when an Englishman come and give a quote for a building, for something in your house, we hardly probably debate and argue about it. But a Ghanaian man, architect or wherever, surveyor goes there, and they want to bring the price down. And that is the kind of mindset that we need to realize, that time is money. Knowledge is money. And
you know, I can give you a more practical example with Mr. Dade, who is here. And I remember many years back, we've been friends for ages. I remember when he lived in a very small house and he did some work done. And I kept it, but go and call the guy's guy. He said, hey, before the guy lays his hand on anything, £250.
Yes.
Just calling fee. I said, hey, then let's take our time. So, you know.
It's just that if we are in our country and we can get, like you said, don't go for cheap, but make sure when you pay for it too, it is rendered. That is the balance we need to strike. That you don't take us for granted that we don't know nothing. So you take the money, people you think they will do a good job, eventually not even turn up the next day, and then they have all the stories to tell you and leave you stranded. That is where the frustration is. And I think we will all work on that. Mr. Grant, there's somebody asking, what is AGI? You mentioned you use that acronym, AGI.
Yes, my apologies.
Association of Ghana Industries.
Yes, exactly.
Sorry, come again. Association of
Ghana Industries.
All right. Okay. So that answers that one. Somebody also is saying that you mentioned an event in London. You have more information on it. What you raised some subject about an event. Either it's happened before or.
Yes, as Alex has said, there's a diaspora investment event. Yes. And yes, in due course, we'll put out the
information.
The information, and Paul will be very instrumental in making sure.
Definitely, it will be an information. We'll have it on this forum, on our website, on our Facebook, and all the channels we have. So please, we'll keep you posted. Now, if I may go on, I will give you one or two questions. Then we'll take 2 minutes break for you to dry. Take something to wet your throat, and then we'll finish this off. Somebody's asking, where do I start? Imagine I arrive in Ghana. I don't know nobody. I am greenhorn. I was born here, lived here. My parents come from Ghana. I've always gone on school holidays in my childhood. And now I want to take an interest in Ghana, looking out for an investment. Where do I start?
Well, first of all, there's the internet. The internet is replete with so much information about Ghana that before you get into Ghana, do some research. Do a little bit of research. And then, of course, you must register a company, but you must have a plan. I don't know of anybody who works in life without a plan to just start something. You've got to plan.
Yes.
If you want to grow lemons, you must find out what lemons grow in West Africa. Or is the soil in West Africa good for growing lemons? Is there a market for lemons? If I want to process, there's equipment I need to buy. Where would I get that equipment? How would I find it? Then when you found all that, then you can come to Ghana and say, okay, I have my project lined up. I have my proposal. Now I need the land. How can I find the land? Where will I find the land? That you need to probably come and check, or come to a GIPC or somebody to help you find out. So it's just as simple as that. Sometimes people think that you need to go beyond the very simple things, but it's just as simple as that. You don't need to do anything more than that. Do a little bit of research. You have to register a company, like Companies House in the UK. You have Ghana, the Registrar Generals in Ghana. You need to register your company. If you need to find out about the land and the varieties, etc., there's so much information at the Ministry of Agriculture. If you want to find out about industry, one district, one factory, there's so much information available at the Ministry of Industry. And often I think that the mistake.
To add to what Yofi's just said, right? You have to have a plan. You cannot just arrive in the country and say, oh, I'm going to look for something to do. Secondly, right, there are a lot of people, and especially a lot of our people, who tend to think about the money than the service, right, or what they can offer. To be successful in business, to be a real entrepreneur, right, you have to have the love for something that you want to do. It's not about the money. The service gives you the money. Half of the time, I get people coming to me and say, oh, there's money in this, there's money in that. Money in things, right, doesn't mean anything. It's your vision, what you want to do. I mean, you arrive in Ghana, you want to build roads, you want to manufacture things, and that's the plan. You go to someone, and like I said, people like myself, we mentor people. But if you come to me, you in a way can give you direction as to pointers to areas that you can go into and that. But if you came to me, right, I would rather prefer you come to me and say that, look, I've got something, I've got something that I want to, I've got a vision, right? How can you help me fulfill that vision, right? I've come in, I think I can go into an industry, commerce and that, right? Then you can get help. But without any plan, without any vision, right, then I'm afraid even people like me, right, wouldn't want to cannot be of any help to you.
Right. Thank you. There's another question that I got earlier. What support is there in Ghana for people who lost money investing in Ghana through the bank clearing up system? Some of you, I'm sure you rightly know that in the course of government exercise to put the financial market or wherever it was into a good position, there were a lot of banks that were closed where people have lost money in it. Either they've lost or have never been paid. Did somebody want to know what is happening with that? You don't have to answer if it's not your area of expertise, but
okay, well, I'll tell you something. Every economy, regardless of wherever it is, stands on a robust financial system that operates on rules, laws, regulations. And there's no area more regulated than the financial services sector.
Yes.
We happen to have found ourselves in a financial sector that was, for want of a better word, maybe a bit moribund. I mean, things had gone awry. Monies had been lost. And if government hadn't stepped in the time that it did, I am telling you, our whole financial system would have collapsed. Loans, depositors had put monies in there. Those monies had been used for loans for which had not been paid back. The bank didn't have any way of paying back, and so we're gone. Now, it costs government a significant amount of money to even save some of those depositors. And if I'm right, I know that government made the efforts to pay back most depositors at either all their money or as much as they could. But bear in mind, once government reallocates money there, that is development money gone, used to pay private sector people. In other countries, what has been done is that there are depositors insurance companies and institutions which actually secure deposits with banks at the central bank. So in case there's a crisis, there's a certain formula in which you get your money back. We didn't have that in Ghana. But apart from that, I mean, some of these banks, perhaps, and once again, please don't quote me, this is my opinion, perhaps did not have the duty of care for depositors' money. And so the Bank of Ghana had to step in. They had to step in. Right. I mean, there are banks that were given bailout packages by the central bank to stabilize the banks, and that money too was taken and used for other things, you know, without that. So it was very important, and that's perhaps what has not been well communicated, that clean out was very important. If it hadn't happened, we would have had our whole economy just collapse.
Yes.
Out of government's intervention, 4.5 million depositors had their money saved. Right. Some thousands lost some money because institutions in which they put their money had just squandered all the money somehow.
Yes. Okay. No, thank you. I mean, we live in this country, most of us do, and we know the regulations around financial sectors, what we are allowed and what we are not. They will be coming down hard on you when you don't do your bit in accordance with the law. And so it's not new when we heard that things are being cleaned up, if that is the right thing to do. So yes, it's good that you've provided some clarity. I'm going to give you 2 questions, and then we'll take 2 seconds break, and then we'll come back to the questions and round it up. I'm keen to finish at 8:30, so we've got 10 minutes to go through. Right, somebody is asking, if I have 10,000, what can I invest? What if I have 10,000? I'm not conversant in some of the things, and I arrive in Ghana with 10,000 pounds in my hand. What would be some simple ideas that you can lead the person to?
Well, I mean, you know, unfortunately, for most of us in Ghana, we don't get to be sensitive to these things at an early age, so it becomes difficult for us. But investment is a very personal thing. When you invest, you're either looking for security, growth of the capital, or interest or return.
Yes.
So you need to understand the instruments that will give you that. You can go formal, in which case you say, well, I am very risk averse. I don't like risk. So I'll go for gilt-edged instruments like a treasury bill, where I know that the government cannot default. Or if I'm much more risk adventurous, I'll say, let me go to the equities market. And you may do so through the stock exchange, or you have, and like Alex said, you have an idea that you want to grow. You want to invest your money in that idea. That supposes that you will manage that investment to grow it. Now, the Ghana market offers all these opportunities. You may partner with somebody to go into agriculture. You may partner with somebody to go into production, music production, or even clothes production, or into simple things like manufacturing. I'll tell you what, recently I was speaking to a friend of mine, and he said, at last he's found what he wants to do. I said, what do you want to do? He says he wants to squeeze orange juice, fresh orange juice, and sell to the market. I said, oh, really? Exciting. So how much is it going to cost him? He says, oh, he's found the equipment. And I said, how much? He says $10,000 from India. It will squeeze, to bottle, to do everything for you. Guess what? He's selling fresh orange juice already.
Right.
It didn't take him 3 months. He had a plan. He went straight for it. It didn't cost him a whole lot of money, $10,000. What cost him was marketing, but not the production. He brought in the equipment, the oranges. He arranged the farm, I think in Suhum or somewhere, and he used to go and buy the oranges. In fact, for me, my concern for him was security of the raw material. Was it because it's oranges in Ghana are seasonal? It's now that under the Planting for Food and Jobs and the One Village, One Dam project that we are going to see all year round production because of the policy to ensure that there's irrigation and there's this, so you can do all year round. But, it's all about planning. So if you have $10,000, and I must put the caveat in as an investment banker, every investment is risky. There is no risk-free investment anywhere in the world. In fact, we have a maxim that we say, the higher the risk, the higher the return. And that is why people would run to pyramid schemes like Piram and all those things, because they offer you unbelievably astronomical returns, but they are not legitimate. So it's a risk, it's a big risk you are taking if you put your money there. And it's up to every individual to measure his risk appetite. If you make the mistake and go to an unlicensed, risky thing because it's giving you good returns, when you lose money, don't come and say the government should save you. Because when you are going, you didn't tell the government. And these are unregulated. And so for me, before I invest anywhere, I'll find out about the instrument. I'll find out about the institution. I'll read. I'll make sure that I understand and know exactly what I am doing. And if I lose money, it's nobody's business. You know what? At the end of the day, global literature will tell you, out of every 100 new companies that are set up, 100 by private people, only 10 survive. And that's it's almost like a global statistic. The 90 all go away because, like I said, not all of us can be business people. We all have aspirations of owning a business and running a business, but it requires a whole lot of other things that maybe not all of us have, like discipline, like focus, like persistence, like planning. And I'm sure you all know that you see some people right from the day you saw them in primary school, you know that this guy, he'll make money because he seems to have it at his fingertips. They know how to do things and how to extract from you.
Right.
So that is the nature of it. Every business has a risk. But if you plan and you inform yourself, you can take informed decisions about where you put your money. I mean, some may even say that, let me go and buy land and just sit on it for years. And hopefully the value will appreciate.
Yes.
And then I can get my money back. So there are many opportunities. I can't begin to start listing them. Almost everything in Ghana is an opportunity now.
Yes. So the main thing is the ideas are there. You just need to come with the right idea.
Absolutely. And planning.
Good planning. And be prepared to take some element of risk. Yes. Okay, we'll take 2 seconds break, not more than that. And then we will return to about 3 more questions and we will let you go and have a good, well-deserved rest. I appreciate your time. So 2 to 3 seconds break. And we will show you the next program so that you can go around and tell others that what is coming next. My team can show us the next flyer for the next program we are looking forward to. Right. Come 17th of September, we will be looking at testing at Kotoka International Airport, the rationale behind it, the test results, and the protocols and the myths. All of you have been seeing WhatsApp and messages going around calling testing in Kotoka fake here and there. Without politics or anything, we wanted somebody who is in the right place to come and tell us. And so next 2 weeks, on the 17th, we have Dr. Anthony Sia Asari, who is a presidential advisor on health, public health. He's the key person that can tell us what is going on and why we should believe what comes out of Kotoka. And I encourage all of you to share it with your friends and family and join us. Thank you very much.
Wild Remit helped me give you the best start in life. Even if I couldn't be there to see it. I know it wasn't easy comparing yourself to your friends, but the money I sent home meant that you could be right there alongside them today. I'm so proud to be your mother, almost as proud as you must be now that you're starting an incredible new chapter.
Welcome back. This forum is an educative information gathering and awareness. That's the only motive we have here, is to give you the information. And so we try and draw personnel and people of integrity and skill that will take us forward in our awareness and educational initiative. Welcome back, Mr. Yofi Grant and Mr. Alex Dadi, for joining us today. We have 3 more questions and then we will be rounding up. Someone is asking, what are the prerequisites as a Ghanaian going into partnership with a non-Ghanaian? So for instance, you're a Ghanaian, you find somebody, I'm sure you understand that. But is there any criteria that you need to meet if you are going into partnership with somebody who is not necessarily from your country? I'm not sure if Alex or you can.
Yeah, I think you can take that because there's a GIPC minimum capital requirement. I think with foreigners it's about 200,000, but you can take that because it's a GIPC requirement for non-Ghanaians, what they pay. Right. So let you take that. Is your still on? If not, non-Ghanaians, there's a minimum capital requirement for non-Ghanaians, and there are also areas reserved for only Ghanaians. So it depends on which industry you're entering. But most of them are open. In terms of retail, I think it's about 1 million or 1.5 million for foreigners if they want to go into retail. But in any other business, I think the minimum capital requirement is 200,000. So where, for example, I've got partners, right? I don't have any capital requirement, but they would have to put in at least $200,000.
Right. Okay.
And I think those are things, because I said about the board of GIPC as well, and those are things that I think we are looking at. The act is, we are looking at reviewing the GIPC Act, which I think will be done sometime this year.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Mr. Grant, you've got anything to add to that, or we are okay with it?
No, I think Alex has said it right. Every economy tries to protect its own people. So in the retail sector, and I'm sure recently you've heard, we've had quite a number of brushes with the Ghanaian Union of Trade Associations, because a lot of foreigners had come into the retail sector. But our law, there's an exclusion list of areas reserved for Ghanaians. And there are things like taxi driving, hairdressing, printing of scratch cards, selling water, etc., etc., etc. And then if you want to be in retail trade, you must, like you said, invest $1 million and employ at least 20 Ghanaians. That was put there to ensure that the retail trade was reserved for Ghanaians. But we all know that the world has changed. Markets have changed. Today is no more a specific location. You can sell and buy on using your phone, your computer, wherever it is. So we are in, like I said, we're in an aggressive reform mode. What we want to do is to modernize our investment code and make it open such that we benefit from whatever it is. we don't want to put rules that would disincentivize investors, but will attract investors to benefit us. So that's what we are doing. Every country has its own way of attracting investors. But the world today is much different from what it was 20 years ago. Now, every country is trying to attract investors, from the US, from the Emirates, from China. China is, I think, the second largest recipient of foreign direct investment in the world. But they are also a huge source of investment capital.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Someone is also asking, how is GIPC reassuring investors looking to go into joint ventures with Ghanaian businesses, but are unfortunately put off by historic issues of mistrust? We all have heard or have experienced some element of situations where you feel like you can trust, and then in the end you are badly let down, and it creates a big dent in your head forever.
I think before you answers that has been an area of concern to me, and I have been speaking to government on that. UFI has been going around, and finance minister and everybody's been going around the world looking for money and that, right? The greatest advocates and ambassadors of foreign investment into Ghana are the diasporans. So where they've had a lot of mistrust of government, of the people back home, right? It plays a significant role of getting people not to invest into the country, because you have Ghanaians here, maybe for want of a better word, marking the country and saying that, they are all crooks in that country. You take your money there, you wouldn't see it and that. So it's a major issue that has to be addressed if government has to, or if Ghana has to make a headway in attracting investment, because there's that mistrust of the locals that the money gets swallowed there and that. So that's one that maybe from your office side, you can answer how they are going to tackle that mistrust.
Absolutely, Alex. The thing is, the truth of the matter is there's law. There are enough rules and regulations to protect anybody, is whether we follow them. Look, every market has that level, has that bit of mistrust. I mean, I have had people, and it's interesting. I was speaking to a huge player in the British economy, and who was telling me Ghana seems to be way ahead of the UK in public-private partnerships. And I said, what do you mean by that? He says, what? If you look at the history, they had all these law firms who were going to all the laws with PPPs, and the government suffered inordinately. The issue of trust is a very strong one. We must also understand that our economy is not as advanced as many others. So even the regulatory frameworks have not been tested enough. We don't have enough lawyers who are very strong in corporate law, because bear in mind, remember that we only recently got into the private sector side of the economy. Prior to the past 20 years, everything was state-run. And that requires a new thinking, a new attitude, and new way of doing things. I mean, there are people who still think in Ghana, government is responsible for everything. Everything. So when something doesn't work, it's the government. If people have weeds growing right outside their walls, they say it's the government. They have their gutters choked from stuff that they themselves have thrown there, they say it's the government. But some of these things don't have to be government. Apart from that, we don't even trust ourselves. And that is a difficult one. That is a difficult thing to break, because it's very attitudinal. But I think as the economy grows, there's more opportunity. There are more cases which are tested and tried in court. I think the rules and regulations become tighter and more punitive to people who cheat their way in there. I mean, I can tell you, we all don't like paying taxes, but we have to pay taxes, because if you don't pay, the big hammer of the law will get to you. That's it, and that has happened over years and years and years. If you look at the UK, how did they get the tax system there? There was a feudal system that taxed everybody. There were fiefdoms that controlled taxes, and the people have to pay tax, whether they liked or not, to support the ruling party and all these things. But these have gone through many iterations and perfected it. And I think we are going to see the same in the US. Every day there's a new law coming out on business because somebody has done something that maybe is not in the law book, and they find immediately some person goes to Congress and says, we have to fix this thing so that people don't have the opportunity to do stuff. Yes. So we are a growing economy. We are going to get there. I can tell you, as an investment banker, one of the biggest challenges we had in Ghana was no person wanted to pay for advice. They didn't think advice was important. What they felt was, give me the money. That's more important than the advice. What they didn't realize was the advice will tell you whether you need the money or not, or how to go for it, or whether it was even important enough. And I'll tell you, people think that lack of capital is the biggest bane of businesses in Ghana. It's not. It's corporate structure, it's governance. Those little things that may seem intangible or not physical, they are the critical ones. Until we build a system that really facilitates strong governance, we will still have the distrust and stuff. Now, at least now the laws are coming out. And so I think with time, we'll get much better. But at the end of the day, I'll still like to say this is our country. A lot of people in the UK. The UK wasn't built by Ghanaians. It was built by many other people. But you are there because it works. I think if we have the same attitude with our own country, it will work.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I think that's a good thing to know. I mean, I'm sure some of us know already. We all have to go with the right approach, right mindset and attitude. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Before I come to my last question, it will be interesting for my audience to know that our sponsor today, World Remit, has apportioned some giveaways to support those who are supporting children, helping kids back to school in Ghana with some small, a token, cash vouchers for a Q&A kind of questions. So today I will only give you 5 questions for you. You're not supposed to answer it now. Just to give you an indication, if you look at my screen, they want people to answer 5 questions at the end of this month and win £50 voucher. Next month you can get £50. So one of the questions will be, which of the following ways can you send money using World Remit? I'm not going to go through the answers. Which of the following ways can you send money? So you need to go and look at the ways. If you are a regular user of World Remit, you will know it. For how many countries can you send money using World Remit? Again, you will know how many countries you can use World Remit as well. And also from how many countries can you receive World Remit money using World Remit? Again, if you go back onto their research, you will get to know. And then by the end of this month, you could get a cool £50 to go and help somebody to pay their fees or whatever you are doing with the support of them. Number 4, which of the following platforms can I use to send money using World Remit? So you go and look for the platforms that you can use, whether mobile app or website or wherever. And how much can I get if I refer somebody to use World Remit? If you refer anybody using World Remit through your reference, you get some amount of money. So I'm giving you 5 questions to go and search for. Next 2 weeks, I'll give you 5 more questions. And at the end of the month, we'll do a draw. And the fastest person to answer all the questions, 5 questions right, get 50 quid right in their pocket to send or to use, whatever. Thank you very much. Last question, and then we'll bring this to a very successful close. Mr. Grant and Mr. Daddy, somebody else is asking, which sectors currently provide the biggest investment opportunities in Ghana?
I'll be very honest with you.
You don't want to pitch one against the other, but I'm sure there are other areas.
It's not pitching one against the other. I'll say that our country is replete with investment opportunities. It depends on where you want to play. It's like being a great sportsman. You must be a great sportsman in one sport, but you might have a wide universe of sports. You may be a great swimmer and not a good sprinter. So I can tell you that if you're a great swimmer and not a good sprinter, you should go into athletics. When maybe you'll be a great swimmer, I'll say go to the pool. So, it depends on your risk appetite, what you think the opportunity will give for you, and what you think you can do. I mean, I'll tell you, I am excited about the job I do because I know we can make change. We can make real good positive change and change our country to be the country that we want it to be. The president has given us aspirations of making Ghana the best place to do business in Africa, and as well as a hub for Africa. And that is what is driving, the ethos driving our ability to go out there and sell the country. At any opportunity, I'll sell my country because I know that it's a great country, it's got great people, and it's got fantastic opportunities. And if we come open-hearted to say that we're going to make great out of the opportunities, build ourselves, create some wealth, and create opportunities for other people, we all will be happier for having a country, Ghana.
Okay, well, my final note to answer your question, I don't think it's one that I would like to answer because I'm in about 5 or 6 different industries across sectors, fintech, agri, and a few other ones. So I wouldn't want to pick one against the other. And I have partners in different partners in all these ones. So I wouldn't want publicly to declare that this is better than the other. The partners to take me on.
Maybe we should ask you where you are making the most money.
Well, then the other partners will say, "Oh, you put us here, and you are making more money with the others." But on another optimistic note, I'm speaking to you, Fia and Co. You know, I'm an initiator of the Diaspora Homecoming Summit, the Ghana Investment and Opportunity Summit, and that. What I believe we need at GIPC, we have a quarterly CEO's breakfast meeting, and I'm pushing that we do a quarterly diaspora breakfast meeting where we bring all the diasporans together with leaders of the country, not only diasporans in government, diasporans in industry, unemployed diasporans, people who need a bit of a push under one roof, right, every quarter, to be sponsored by diasporan businesses, so that at least this sort of information, the sort of information that they need, they can get it there. If there's any help, we can all dialogue together. So I think that's my next project, which I will be pushing UFI and we have a view and that, so that we can institute something like that. Because I get a lot, my office is always full of people coming in and asking questions, wanting mentorship and help. There are a few diasporans who are doing very well, who want to give back, right? There are some who have been in the system for God knows how long, the kind of realtors and that, they all came from outside. So this is a forum that basically is still like new diasporans who have come back, all diasporans, right, to come into a forum like that and help all the others. And these questions can be answered there.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Yofi Grant, CEO of GIPC, Ghana Investment Promotion Center. Somebody was asking, what does GIPC mean? So that is what it stands for. And Mr. Alex Dade, our chairman, and somebody I've known for a long time, somebody very trusted, well, someone I can trust with his advice when it comes to guiding you through this sort of initiatives. It's been a pleasure having both of you. I understand you traveled and you've spent 1.5 hours and more with us. I'm grateful. For the first time, if it may interest you, this is the first forum we've had that nobody raised their hand to ask questions. So that means your message has gone really down well. And we've had over 100 people in and out. And I'm grateful for your time. For the audience, we thank you all for being with us. And we thank World Remit for supporting us in this project, the Ghana Union, the Ghana Nurses Association, the Western Region Association of Nurses, and the Nightingale Nurses Association. We also thank, what's it called? We also thank Omega Live TV for carrying this across to other channels other than just Zoom. And please go and research some of the questions, and you could win £50 cash to support family and friends going back to school in September, October. On that note, this is all time will give us to hold this program. Thank you, my panelists, and thank you, the audience. And thank the team behind the scenes who always do the hard work, the technical team, oh, now that I'm closing up, there's 2 hands up. Can you imagine? What do I do now? Mr. Yofi Grant, Mr. Dade, do you have 2 minutes? I've already closed the statement, but there are 2 hands up. Do you want to? Now they've closed their hands down. Anyway, we thank them I'm sure they are happy now. So we will leave it as that. Thank you all for being with us, and we look forward to, I'm sure when the need arises, you wouldn't mind to reappear because it's an area that people are very keen, and I'm glad you were able to spend time with us. Thank you and have a good evening. Stay safe and be well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bless you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wild Remit helped me give you the best start in life. Even if I couldn't be there to see it. I know it wasn't easy comparing yourself to your friends, but the money I sent home meant that you could be right there alongside them today. I'm so proud to be your mother, almost as proud as you must be now that you're starting an incredible new chapter.